Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to What She Said. It is Wednesday. Just one more day before the combine, the NFL combine begins. I'm repping Buffs today in honor of all of the Colorado Buffaloes that are in Indianapolis. And I know for a fact there are at least two of them that are there. And I think I have some video from where Jimmy Horn Jr. was en route. I didn't see anything from Lante, but I do have video of him. So we're honoring the four Buffs that were invited to the NFL Combine. I also learned some new things about this process, the road to the NFL draft, that I did not know yesterday while we were live, which puts a big question mark into the combine itself. But I think I get it. So we'll talk about that and planned a great show for you today. So let's give the squad some time to join us. Let's see who's out here. I see a few of you out there. Thank you so much. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. And we'll get going. All right. I like to start with some music. I'll start with some music while we wait for the squad to show up. How's everybody doing? I hope you're having a good day. Shout out to the new subscribers to the channel. I see y'all. Thank you. And the new followers on IG. I see y'all too. Thank you so much. Big Dog Chico, also a fellow Colorado content creator, followed What She Said Sports on IG. So I thought that was a nice nod. I'm one of those people, I share everybody's content. No matter who you are, if it's good, I'm going to share it. So maybe Big Dog Chico realized she's always sharing my stuff. Yeah. If it's good content, I'll share it. All right. So let's get going. All right. First, since we waiting for the squad to show up, I noticed that Mr. Jalen Hurts is back in the lab. Back at it. Mr. Hurts already had a taste of Super Bowl victory. The first time they went, they were close. Some people say he did a really good job, but he was just on the wrong side of victory. The first Super Bowl run. The second time was the charm. They got it right. And he's already back at it. Getting it together because he probably wants to make a run one more time. Probably as many times as you can, but I'm not mad. I actually said after this Super Bowl, their performance was so stellar and so strong that I really believe that they could run this back. But remember, they lost their offensive coordinator in Kellen Moore. I don't know who the Philadelphia Eagles have on deck for their new OC. Sometimes that does make a difference. The system, maybe it's a new system. It seems that there's been quite a few changes in Philly since Jalen got there. And he still got to the Super Bowl and they won it. So shout out to Jalen Hurts. We'll be talking about the progress as we go on, because the season's kind of already starting to get it together. Okay, let's see. James, welcome. Is that Jen? Welcome. Hey to the chat. Welcome, y'all. All right. So let's get into Indianapolis. Okay, so as you can see, I have a photo here of Shedeur Sanders in Indianapolis. And of course, he's raising a lot of eyebrows with his backpack because it has a Browns hat as well as a Saints cap. So, some people were happy to see that. They're like, oh, wait, what does it mean? I don't think it means anything. But what I do know is that it seems that Travis and Shedeur have already had their interviews with prospective teams. Yesterday on Shedeur's podcast, he mentioned private throwing sessions, the private meetups with team owners, etc., which is a process. It's actually called NFL Top 30. So we're going to talk about that tonight. That is new to me. I had never heard of NFL Top 30, where you have these one-on-ones with the team. You throw for them. They isolate you and basically they want to get to know you. So you spend a substantial amount of time with them, like a date. Each team invites 30, which is why it's called the top 30. It's private. And there's some people that go, there are other meetings that might not be a part of the top 30. So I was thinking to myself, okay, we need to talk about this because I was not aware of anything called the NFL top 30. I thought after the combine, that was it. The combine, pro day, and the draft. And I knew pro day took place at the university and I didn't expect the GMs to be there, but maybe they would be there. But now that we have this top 30, it's possible that that's the last time before the draft. And last year, we're going to talk about when it occurred. I thought the timing was interesting. I don't know how they managed to squeeze in all of these meetings ahead of the draft, but they did. So we'll talk about that as well. Let's see who's in the chat. Good evening at work, but we'll try to listen. Okay, cool. Thank you. If you're at work, just, check us out. Thank you so much, James. Nice to have you back. I'm a passionate fan of the game and always eager to connect. Okay, with fellow enthusiasts. Okay, great. Thank you for hanging out with us. Let's see. Watch him throw for more passing yards than any other rookie in 2023, 2025. Who are you talking about? Are you talking about Shedeur? If you're talking about Shedeur, I believe it. I also found out that after the draft, there's something for 7 weeks called rookie development camp. I didn't know that was a thing. So that's the thing. Then there's mini camp. So we'll get into the schedule as we get past the combine and pro day. But I did put some key dates together. But I did want y'all to see that Shedeur is in Indianapolis. And of course, everybody's talking about it. The Browns seem to be one of the teams that keep coming up where Shedeur is concerned. Now, we did see yesterday when we were on, I got a notification. Basically, people were saying that they knew what the Browns strategy was, etc. I've seen 2 little mini mock drafts come out with this one guy saying, now, I'm not saying that this is the case, but based on the rumblings here at in Indianapolis, it looks like Shedeur will be a Giant. So I'm like, oh, okay. When Shedeur was in Vegas, he told us about, they were playing the PS5, and the team that he plays with is the Browns. He has the Browns hat. So people are trying to deduce from different things what's really, really going on. I maintain Shadur Sanders will be the first player off the board, first overall pick in the 2025 draft. That's my position, and I'm standing by it. Because when they interview with him, they like him even more. Because I guess they hear pretty much what people are saying out here, but then when they sit down and talk to him and they realize, man, this young man is really, really him. Yeah, he is. That's why everybody loves Shedeur. So, we'll talk about that as well. Okay, James said, yes, Shedeur. He's a passer first. He has always been a passer from the beginning. I agree with that. Jen said, we are ready for 2. Viva Las Vegas. Yay! I am too. I am as well. I think a lot of people are. I think it's going to be exciting. I just pray they got an O-line, But honestly, Shedeur showed us when he realizes he doesn't, he can still get it done. That's what makes him the number 1 overall sought-after quarterback. They had a chance to see in year 1 that he was tough, he was durable, sacked 52 times. Then in year 2, the second year at Colorado, they had the chance to see, he can get it done. I'm telling y'all, that Baylor game, if you go listen to the last 2 minutes on YouTube, I think Buff's commentators were talking and they captured the last 2 minutes. It's on video. It is so exciting. That's why a few months ago, when Cam Newton said Shedeur doesn't have any memorable games, I was like, you're telling on yourself because you don't watch him play. Because if you saw that Baylor game, you will never forget it. Considering that it ended the same way it did all those years ago. So, for Colorado, for the Buffs, it's memorable. But for a fan in this era, you can't forget it. You just can't forget it. In the Kansas game, he's just all heart. The Kansas game just showed you, I'm getting hit at the knee, something that could end my career, which was malicious, intended to harm. And What was he worried about? He said, I was listening to hear if the crowd was cheering because I would know the pass was complete. That is somebody who wants to win. And when they sit down and they talk to him, they are going to realize that. But you can listen to everything that's already out there and get that information. You can watch the game, just a sideline conversation. Just Shedeur getting on Travis to catch the ball when Travis was supposed to catch this one particular pass and he didn't. Then he ends up catching it, and I feel like that's the one where he twists his body around and his hands, came out front of the defenders to get that ball. That was hilarious in itself. So the scouts know. I know the scouts know. So we'll see. We shall see. All right. So I have a video I put together. So let's get into that. Shedeur looks like he did get his hair rebraided. So that's cool. I like it. I like when his hair is braided. I think it looks really nice. I think that's two hats, the Saints and the Browns. And I can't tell what that is at the bottom. But, I guess they got some souvenirs and people are taking pictures with him. He's always gracious to take photos. When Shedeur first got to New Orleans after the 7-hour road trip from Dallas to New Orleans, remember he had some media event. He was up the whole day and took photos with everybody who asked for photos. He's the same way after the games. Same way. After the Texas Tech game, he was the last player out there. All right, so let's get into this video. All right. There's quite a few of us in here. Hit the like button for me. Hit the like button. All right, I'm gonna play my intro before we move on. That way everybody can hear it. So some of y'all heard it already, but I said this was going to be the intro. Oh no, that's not it. That's not my intro. This is my intro. I laugh at myself. Okay. All right. So this is a video. That's the intro for the show. It's not really an intro.
Welcome fam, it's a vibe. Break it down. Talking sports, hard and hustle. Wear the crown. Subscribe to the journey. Don't sleep on the grind. Hit the like button. Come on, don't be blind. Let's make it loud. What you say? Rip her out of the crowd.
All right, so that's a reminder to hit the like button. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Thank y'all so much. Okay, so that was the intro. Let's go to my video. Okay, so I put together a good video for today that has us talking about Indianapolis. Shadur and Travis, as y'all can see, they were on the thumbnail. They already arrived. In fact, it's reported that Shadur and Travis have already had their interviews. So everything is already underway. I guess what's left is the next day, the first day, Travis will work out as a cornerback. And then on day 2, which is Friday, Shedeur will work out as a QB. Travis, I believe, will work out as a wide receiver, and Lante and Will Shepherd should be working out as wide receivers as well. So that's what we are with that. So it's already underway. So just when we saw Shedeur, it wasn't like he was just arriving. It seems that he's already completed his interviews. Travis has reported to already have had his interviews as well. If not, they were underway. So by the time it's the end of day in the business in Indianapolis, they've already gotten all the team interviews out the way. So I don't know if this is the team's first chance to talk to Travis. It could be. I'm not 100% certain. So, best of luck to him on his, it seems like it's like a character type interview. So we'll see. All right. So that's just Shedeur when they were actually, I think, coming back from New Orleans. I just put that in there because I wasn't sure at one point where he was in the process. Yesterday, I saw Bucky. I think Bucky and some other guys, maybe in Florida too, maybe Florida, but they were getting ready to head down to Indianapolis yesterday. And one fellow content creator, Life in Football, Colin Moore, he posted that he'd arrived in Indianapolis, so he'll be there as well. So we might be able to get some up close footage outside of what I'm going to look for on YouTube TV tomorrow. So keep that in mind. Does anybody plan on watching the combine tomorrow? Hey, Kia, thank you. Hey, Kia, welcome. So this is Jimmy Horn Jr. So Jimmy had posted some music, but it looked like he was on the road too. But it's possible he flew. I don't know how these guys go. Do they fly? Do they drive? I have no idea. But it seems like everybody was en route. Like I said, Shadur and Travis are already there, starting the interviews. Now, this is Travis. It said that Travis was meeting with the Jaguars and the Browns. And that was surprising. It was surprising that he was meeting with the Jaguars because it seems like people felt like he will be gone by the time the Jaguars pick. And I think we talked about it. The Jaguars have the 5th pick. And some of the little mini mocks that are coming out from Indianapolis after what they've seen earlier today, knowing who's interviewing with whom, it seems that people believe that Travis will go to the Patriots. So I'm not really sure. And surprisingly, the mini mocks are basically coming out of Indy saying Shedeur is going to the Giants. So we shall see. So Travis is meeting with the Jaguars and the Browns. Now, I like the Browns for Travis. I do. Just because I know they have Myles Garrett and he actually might leave. So, I just kind of think that that's a good fit for him. But, I don't know what they're going to do. I'd be shocked if they get a quarterback. But one thing I can say about this draft, it will be shocking. It will be shocking to see who goes top 10. Top 5 for sure. Now, I'm not really worried about top 10. It will be shocking to see who goes top 5. Different teams have different priorities. So Travis had meetings with the Jaguars and the Browns. I didn't hear anything about the Titans for Travis. I thought that was interesting. And I did see an interview where the GM said he had met with both Cam. He had interviewed with Cam and Shedeur just in separate conversations somewhere along the line. Could have been informal. So I think it is telling that we don't see that the Titans are interested in talking to Travis. And Shedeur already had his meetings. He actually talked about on his podcast. He actually talked about some of his private, the top 30 meetings. Seems like those are already scheduled as well. I'm like, wow, there's a lot going on behind the scenes. And this is Shedeur. Okay, so Shedeur is meeting with the Browns and the Giants. So notice, Travis and Shedeur are both meeting with the Browns. Is it even remotely possible for them to draft? I don't think so. I don't see it. I don't see it. Maybe it's a one or the other scenario. But I do think it's interesting that the Browns are meeting with Shedeur and Travis. So the Browns and the Giants. Now remember the Shrine Bowl, right? Travis wasn't there because he wasn't a senior. Shedeur was there, but he was asked not to work out by three teams. The 3 teams at the time were two of them he's meeting with. One was the Titans, the Tennessee Titans. He met with them. I think they called it a cluster meeting at the time. And then the other 2 were the Giants and the Browns. So despite what we're hearing people say, the Giants still seem to, well, maybe this might not work out, but hey, let's just go ahead and schedule a meeting. That's what it's given. Now, the Browns are interesting. The Browns are interesting because how they going to get a quarterback? We talked about that, right? So, I don't know. The Browns still hanging in there with Shedeur. Remember, we talked about the Browns at the Shrine Bowl, one of the teams that asked Shedeur not to work out. Now, at the Combine, the Browns are asking, it seemed like he met with them there. And if I'm not mistaken, the Browns are one of the teams that he's meeting with in the what they call the NFL official top 30, where each team gets to meet with 30 people in like a one-on-one scenario. And then there's a physical exam, workout, etc. Now, one thing I have learned is that last year there was an actual tracker. So all of this data is captured. We'll be able to look at it. We'll be able to see who has a 30 for 30 meeting with what team. So we'll be able to see that. Now, interesting enough timing of the private meetings, right? So we got some key dates on here we're going to take a look at, because I'm like, this is a lot to get done. You know, the combine, I think, is until March 1st or 2nd. It officially starts, well, it started today. The workouts start tomorrow, but it seems like the interviews were today. And then I was thinking to myself, you know, some people say GMs don't always go to the combine. I said, well, now it makes sense, knowing that they have the top, what they call the NFL top 30. Now that each team has a meeting with 30 candidates, then it makes sense. But I don't know. I'm assuming scouts and executives are in those meetings. I don't know, but there is a physical involved. So it's like a combine, but private. I don't know. That's what it's given. If anybody knows anything about the top 30 private meetings, you let me know. All right. So that's Shedeur, the Browns and the Giants. Do y'all think it's intriguing that the Giants want to meet with Shedeur or with Travis? I think it is. It's intriguing to me because I'm thinking to myself, now, how are you going to get all this done? So let's talk about the key dates. There's some key events coming up here. All right. We have the combine. Starts officially tomorrow, but the meetings were held today. Okay. And then there's CU Pro Day on 4/4. So to be honest, I believe a lot of people are looking forward to Pro Day. And I don't know if it's because, I mean, I'm not just talking about the players. I mean, fans, and it's not open to the public from what I could see from previous years. But everybody just seems excited about Pro Day taking place at the universities. I know the combine is huge. Fans get to go out. It's free if you're in the area, Indianapolis area near Lucas Oil. If you register online at NFL One Pass, you can get in for free. You can take 5 little kids. They call them minors, but I say little kids. It should be fun. And there's interaction. There's a fan fest, games, everything. So, you know, it's a big deal. The combine is a big deal, even though it feels redundant, in my opinion. I mean, you have the bowl games, you have the Shrine Bowl, the Senior Bowl, then you have the HBCU Combine, the HBCU Legacy Bowl, the regular Combine, or the NFL overall Combine, and then you have your Pro Day. Now, I don't know if the HBCUs have Pro Days. Now, I think that they need to fix that if that's the case. Because I don't know why it's like that, but I do think they need to fix that. In fact, there are 2 quarterbacks. One was the offensive MVP for Daniel Rich for the Legacy Bowl. He's good. And then the other guy that I told y'all about, Jalen Ellis, he's good as well. And we're going to talk, I'm probably going to do a separate video about them because I did a snippet and posted it last night. So, you know, stay tuned for that because they're good. And we actually have the HBCU Combine results, etc. So CU Pro Day, 4/4. Everybody's looking forward to this. It takes place at Colorado. Shedeur is going to be there. He'll be throwing to the receivers, which is excellent. Excellent. One, Shedeur not throwing at the combine is good because he will be throwing to strangers. And I don't even know if that's good for him because it's too much lurking out there in terms of maliciousness. So we don't want that to even possibly happen to somebody that accidentally on purpose dropped the ball. So Shedeur not throwing at the combine is actually the right move. He will be doing the medical part. If not, I know he'll be doing interviews. And it sounds like the interviews already took place. I heard he'll be throwing to the receivers. Will Shepherd is not at the combine. I do believe he should have been there. Shiloh should have been there. Shiloh had an 81. That was sufficient for a combine invite, but we talked about that. Maybe it's a blessing in disguise that he didn't go to that. He will be at Pro Day. Shadozi, Shane Copes, Lavonta Bentley, and BJ Green, and Cameron Simmer-Craig. They're all right now getting ready for Pro Day. So that's excellent. So that's 4/4. Then that's the top 30 visits. Okay, you notice the date is 4/25/24. So I did some research. I'm like, okay, when exactly do these top 30 visits happen? Because for one team to meet with 30 candidates and additional people outside of that, but it's official 30. It's an official 30 for each team. I'm like, when is all of this taking place? So I checked the dates of the draft from last year, 2024, and it looks like it coincided with those dates. And I was like, that can't be right. So I just put 425, 2024 because that was the start of the draft. But it gave me the impression that it's rolled somehow into the draft. And I don't know how that would be the case, but I don't know much about it. It's new to me. If you know about the top 30 visits, let me know. If I'm not mistaken, Shedeur said he had 2 scheduled. And the 2 he had scheduled seemed to be the same 2 he could possibly be meeting with at the combine. The Giants and the Browns. But we'll hear more about it to come. The NFL will release the official names as we get closer. And then there's the draft itself. I think a lot of us are starting to hold our breath because it does seem to be a lot of unknowns. It's like you really can't say who's the number 1 pick. You don't really know because Tennessee holds the cards on whether they're going to pick. Some people think they're going to pick Abdul Carter. And then some people think they're going to trade that pick. And then I'm thinking, okay, if Travis is not meeting with the Titans, and then Shedeur is not meeting with the Titans, if I can find out if Cam Ward is not meeting with the Titans, sounds like the Titans are going to trade their pick. That's the impression that I'm getting. What does that say to you? So earlier I asked, what is it? Is it intriguing that the Browns want to meet with both Shedeur and Travis? And then now my question is, since Tennessee haven't scheduled an interview with either Shedeur or Travis, is that a signal that Tennessee is going to trade their pick? So those are the questions of the moment. Let's see who's in the chat. See if there's any thoughts here. Let's see. All 32 teams, medical staff are there. Medical staff are there. Either the assistant GM or the GM will have or will conduct interviews. The coaches that are looking for quarterbacks will have them on one-on-one meetings. Okay, excellent. Now, Kiel, a light bulb started to go off. How do you have all of this information? Because you have some inside info. Don't think I haven't noticed. I still didn't get an email from you yet either to join the What She Said member text group chat. But how do you know all this information? Anyway, that's the question. Kiel said not redundant. They need that some players really need that combine. Okay, all right. So basically, okay. I mean, for one team to interview 30 candidates, that's a lot, but it is not 329. And yes, there are some, but listen, this is the thing. This is why I say it's redundant. Okay. Follow me here. I have a Shrine Bowl, a Senior Bowl, a Combine, and a Pro Day, and private workouts. I mean, like, it seems to me it should be Shrine Bowl, Senior Bowl, Pro Day, private workouts, or the top 30 for 30. Why is it that the Pro Day is not sufficient enough to determine what the Combine would? I don't understand that. I mean, maybe I'm an efficiency expert anyway. So that's just what I'm thinking. I don't understand why the Combine will be more. I don't know. Maybe that's 2 opportunities for players who didn't get a fair shake during the season. I mean, I'm not mad at it. I'm just thinking, isn't this a lot? But the fans like the Combine. And maybe because the fans can't go to Pro Day, that the Combine exists not just for the players, but for the fans too. And I did say I felt like this was a media type event for the NFL. That's good marketing and good branding. All right. Coach Dre, welcome, Coach Dre. It said, good evening, chat. Just found this channel and enjoying it. Okay, Coach Dre, what did you coach, sir? Give us a little bit of background. We're always looking for people who are fans of particular sports. It doesn't matter. It could be basketball, football, but we talk about football primarily right now. And probably since it's connected all year round will be the case. And so let us know, Coach Dre. Welcome. Y'all welcome Coach Dre to What She Said podcast. And Coach Dre, let us know what you actually coached, because we're gonna have some questions. And Queen T, Travis was asked the question, about taking a road trip. Will he want to take it alone or with someone? Not surprised he didn't want to say he would go without his girl. He can't go with her. That's not surprising. Oh, okay. Was this part of the combine, Queen T? Let me know. Coach Dre said the Titans are listening to trades right now. What does that mean, Coach Dre, when you say they are listening to trades? I sent my email to you. I just sent on that video that you did with JC. Oh, okay. Okay. You left a comment. I'll go look there. Okay, thank you, Kiel. Thank you. 400 Circle Media. I don't think he's here. I didn't get his response either. All right, let's see. All right, so Coach Dre, we're gonna wait back to hear what you mean by the Titans are listening to trades right now. Exactly what that means. And thank you, Kiel, for the email. Coach Dre said our pro day will be as good as the combine because every team will be there. True. That's true. Okay, thank you for that. Kiel said, because I asked Kiel, how does he have so much knowledge? He said, I played football in high school and in the Army. He said, my brother-in-law played for the New York Jets back in the 90s. So I was always interested. So I studied it. Okay, well, that makes sense. I know you had some type of interior insight. So yeah, that makes sense. Okay, Kiel, thank you so much. Oh, 400 Circle Media is going to be happy to hear your brother-in-law played for the Jets because he's a Jets fan. So I can't wait for him to come back. Queen T said, no, it was on his podcast. Oh, okay. Thank you for that, Queen T. Thank you. They said you have to realize something on the quarterback side. That person is going to be the face of the franchise, so they have to make sure that he understands that. I mean, yeah, I get it. I get the one-on-ones. I really do. With the quarterback, I understand you want to, make sure who the person is. But I don't know. It just seemed like a lot. But considering the audience is different at Pro Day, it's more closed, where the combine is a show, and it is. If you get invited, cool. You just get to Pro Day, and so like Jimmy Horn Jr., he's always my example because he was injured, right? But he still got invited to the combine. In fact, he was at one time, it looked like he was going to be the only person outside of Travis and Shedeur, and then Lante got his invite, right? So Jimmy is a person, we know he's a baller. I've watched his highlights, I've watched him play. But at the same time, he wasn't able to play the entire season. So I felt like the Shrine Bowl was it for him. Like when they were like, you don't need to keep playing, we saw enough, right? So then take that and then you go with the combine. So he balls out at the combine, but maybe there were not all personnel at the Shrine Bowl, right? So now he gets in front of a wider audience. I'm assuming all 32 teams at the combine, and then he goes to Pro Day, and then that's just another opportunity. So it's like there's been the bowl game. What is it? The bowl game, the Shrine Bowl, the combine, and CU Pro Days. Those are like 4 more additional opportunities that Jimmy Horn Jr. has had a chance to showcase himself, which I'm happy about. Don't get me wrong. But to me, I guess I was just thinking from a business perspective, like, why would you want to keep having all these events? They seem redundant, but the audience is different. And I did say that the NFL is a show, and I would be interested to know, last year at the combine, the record of 27,000 there was a record of 27,000 attendees. I know it's going to be more than that this year. One thing about social media, it has definitely piqued interest in people's, starting to follow the NFL now rather than when they get to the draft or when they get to camp. So it said, I coach football for Gainesville High School. In what state? Florida. I do a CU show with my brother Rich the Man on Sundays. Oh, with B Watts. Doesn't B Watts do a show with Greg Said It? Am I right? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, welcome. Yeah, I think I've seen B Watts, and I do believe he does a show with Greg Said It. I like Greg Said It. I started watching him when he was doing the videos, you know, the shorter videos. It was always good. It was always like a reaction to things. I liked it. But he's very knowledgeable himself. So I don't know if y'all heard me say it, but Kyler Moore from Life in Football, Buffs content creator, he's in, he showed that he made it to Indianapolis. So he's in Indianapolis. It says because in the combine, most of these players are going to get drafted in all these rounds, the pro day, only about 2 of them believe it will get looks. Some of them are going to be free agents. Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know. Okay, and it says, and most pro days are basically individual showcases, basically because they have familiarity, just like quarterbacks. They have their own wide receivers to throw to. Yeah, I noticed that I was wondering who. I saw Caleb throw from last year, and then I don't remember if that was Baker Mayfield or Johnny Manziel. I was wondering who they were throwing to, but okay, that's good to know as well. Thank you for that. So most pro days are individual showcase. I wonder how long it lasts. Like Colorado has about 9 players. So like, is there enough time to get to everybody? I wonder how that works. I don't know. I guess I'm gonna find out. I will definitely find out this year. So there's a lot of, this entire pro day is new. And this is my first time ever paying this much attention to an NFL combine. I've heard several people make that comment too. So it says, I coach Anthony Richardson in high school, and he's my guy. Oh, okay. That's the quarterback for Indianapolis, correct, Coach Dre? Well, welcome. We're happy to have you. That means another person with knowledge. Okay. Excellent. Excellent. Okay. Coach Dre is welcoming, Kiel is welcoming Coach Dre. Awesome. Oh, the chat's about to get turned up for sure. All of this knowledge. I love it. Absolutely love it. All right, so in the rest of this video, so that was the key events coming up. Just in case you didn't know what was happening this week, the combine, then you have CU Pro Day, the top 30 visits in the NFL draft. So, and I've seen some of the top 30 visits from last year. I saw Xavier Worthy, I think his name was on a few teams. So, you know, it looks like people have maybe 2 to 3 invites, I guess. So that's pretty awesome. So if you need this, you can screenshot this and keep it. But these are the key events that are taking place from now until we get to the draft. And I do feel like I'm starting to hold my breath. I can't say I don't think anybody can predict who the number 1 pick is unless they talk to the Tennessee Titans themselves. Since Kiel and Dre and James is at work. So I'm going to, I don't know if he can hear me still, but all right. And 22 might be in the background because he's normally back there too. All right, this question is for people who feel like they know. 1 second. I don't want to go past. Okay. So, like I said, people are trying to read into Shedeur's hats. The fact that he has a Browns hat and a Saints hat. And he's out of Indianapolis. And we know he had interviews. He did say he has 2 interviews, Browns and Giants. I don't know if he had a Giants hat or not. But my thinking is, and I want to know what y'all think. Do y'all think it is interesting that the Browns want to meet with Shedeur and Travis, knowing they can only pick one of them? And we didn't think that they wanted a quarterback. Why does it seem like the Browns are keeping tabs with Shedeur if they know they can't get a quarterback? Does anybody have any thoughts about that? Like, is it, well, even though we know we can't do it, let's just still schedule the interview? That's not what it's given with the Browns. It seems like the Browns are trying to figure something out where Shedeur is concerned. Like I said, I was surprised that Jacksonville wanted to talk to Travis, and I'm surprised that the Patriots didn't schedule with Travis. I'm surprised at that as well, because they have the number 4 pick. So I don't know. I don't know if you can tell anything by those types of interviews. Like I said, I was looking at 2024 interviews. I kind of glanced at it, but I could see me going back and trying to see a pattern here that, okay, if they went to this team and this team, matter of fact, Michael Penix Jr., I did see Atlanta's list from last year. And I didn't recognize a lot of the names on it. The only one that popped out was Michael Penix Jr. So Michael Penix Jr. was on Atlanta's list last year as a QB, obviously, and he was just announced he's going to be the starter going forward for 2025, and y'all know they drafted him in 2024. So Michael Penix Jr., a quarterback, was a top 30 for 30 or a top 30 visit candidate for the Falcons, and they did end up drafting him. Now, y'all know what happened last year, but just yesterday, a day before, the Falcons actually did announce that Michael Penix Jr. is going to be the starter. I felt like that should be the case from the beginning, but we're going to move on. We're going to move on, but he was on their top 30 official visits, so I don't know, but I'm good with finding patterns, so I can see me going back and trying to figure it out. But I still have Shedeur as my number one pick, though. It says, yes, they ask those kind of questions that are not related to football. Those GMs try to find in their true mindset of certain situations. Oh, okay, are you talking about, okay. I think it was Jalen Hurts that you told us about how they use that whiteboard. So what you're saying is they give them questions like schematic questions or play, solve this play or what could make this play better. What would you do different to kind of see their mindset? They used to take a test. I don't know if they still take like an aptitude test anymore. I think they might, but maybe it's different. They did away with the Wonderlic test after Lamar Jackson. So I don't know if they still do, but it'll be interesting to find out what they do all day. But I think it's on YouTube, so I probably can watch it. It says, yes, they ask those kind of questions. Okay. Thanks, Kiel. Coach Dre said pro day, the players and his team in control at the combine. Oh, okay. Pro day, the players and his team is in control, but at the combine, the NFL is in control. Right. Okay. Yeah. And some people, we talked about that yesterday. Some people said that the athletes actually do better at pro day rather than at the combine for quite a few reasons, and this seems to be one of them. Thank you so much, Coach Dre. That's my guy, Colin and Dukes. I started on Life and Football. Oh, okay. I watch Colin all the time. He shout me out when I'm in his comments because I go in there, I hit up the like button. Hit up the like button, made good commentary, and I guess I go all the time. So he's like, shout out to what she said, but he shouts at everybody. I like Colin. I noticed that, Coach Prime likes his podcast because, he take care of the Bucks. He don't allow no foolishness, with people on the outside saying things about the team. So he holds it down for Colorado, and I think that that's great. So I'm happy to have you, Coach Dre. Awesome. Deuce, I like him too. I think I watched him. I started watching one of his episodes yesterday from when he was talking about who's balling out in spring ball and things of that nature too. So I like him as well. I like the format he and Uncle Neely put together, with like something they do, the morning run. So it's kind of nice. Yeah, everybody's doing really good. I'm happy to see that. Queen T said rooting for Shiloh to be drafted and I know he will. Shiloh's going to be drafted because, for one, he had an 81. That's not bad at all. A lot of players in the 80s were invited to the combine. And I actually read one scouting report that said he had strong play while at Colorado, but they didn't say what I know they were thinking. So I don't know why he wasn't at the combine. There isn't anything negative on his scouting report. It talked about his injury, but he came back to perform. And when I said, let me go look at his grade, it was an 81. He should have been there. He was definitely snubbed. So yesterday, y'all were basically saying y'all feel like all the hatred that was being spewed at Shedeur was about Coach Prime. Well, now that you know Shiloh had an 81, y'all might be right. I think y'all are on to something. I look at the bigger picture and see how Lamar Jackson was snubbed. I look at what's taking place with CJ Stroud. I look at how Justin Fields was treated. I look at what took place with Bryce Young. So to me, it's a bigger picture issue. But at this level, what's happening with Shiloh and Shedeur, yeah, that's definitely Coach Prime. But what happened with Lamar Jackson being snubbed, that's an overall issue in the NFL. The Jags want Travis. I know that for a fact, but he may not be there for pick 5. Well, that's what I was saying. I agree with you, but thank you for telling us that. I felt like the Jaguars came right out the gate and said that they wanted Travis even before the final, right when the teams were finalized at the end of the season. There was talk of Travis going to Jacksonville. I think I reported on it because Jacksonville was one team that they said they would be open to Travis playing on both sides of the ball. So let's talk about this. Okay. Little mini mock draft just came out from Indianapolis. Travis supposedly going to the Patriots. Travis has had 2 interviews today, seemingly today, and the Browns and the Jaguars want to pick, right? So the Patriots are 4. Who could pick Travis first? And then there's the Jacksonville Jaguars. So let's talk about this scenario. This is a hypothetical scenario. So let's talk about this. What happens if the Patriots pick Travis and they're like, we only want you to be a cornerback? And then he met with the Jaguars today. They're like, man, we love to have you. And we happy to have you play, full time both ways. So we look forward to talking to you soon, right? So the draft comes around, the Patriots pick Travis. They only want him to play one way. He already goes into the draft after the combine and the top 30 visits, knowing that Jacksonville will allow him to play both ways. The one team that is cool with him doing what he actually desires to do, play full time on both sides of the ball. And they came out and said this. So if the Patriots pick him, can he say, you know what, I appreciate it, but I want to go to the number 5th pick, which is after the 4th pick? What happens in that scenario? Can anybody share what happens in that scenario? Does anybody have any insight? Can Travis opt out from the Patriots and go back into the draft? And then since the Jaguars are conveniently number 5, they're like, oh, Travis back on the board. He don't want to go to the Patriots, so let's get him. Is that a possibility? How does that work? Can somebody shed some light on it? And this is why we are having a panel, especially for the draft, because there's so many questions. All right, let's see. Rooting for Shiloh. Shiloh's definitely getting drafted, Queen T. For sure. Oh, 400 Circle Media, thank you so much. And we were just talking about you. Well, we have a new member, or a new supporter. We have Coach Dre. You can welcome Coach Dre. And guess what? Oh, not Coach. That's not Coach Dre. That's Coach Dre is new. But Kiel, brother-in-law, I think used to play for the Jets. So I told him you will be excited to hear, because you and Kiel, y'all exchange comments all the time. So Kiel's brother-in-law played for the Jets. So 400 Circle Media, that should be awesome. Awesome for you. And thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Thank you. Feel free to show your girl some love. It's not magic that makes this happen. It's sweat equity. So I appreciate it, Kiel. And I appreciate it, 400 Circle Media. Thank y'all so much. So the Jets, we got our QB. And now 400 Circle Media, you got you a buddy in the chat whose brother-in-law played for the Jets. That is so awesome. Okay. And it says, I think Deshaun Watson for the Browns is discouraged in the position he's in my opinion. But he's good as a QB. Yeah, there's a lot there. I don't know what the Browns are going to do. That's why I said the top 5 is definitely going to be a surprise on draft day. Started with the first pick. I say it's Shedeur. There's a lot of talk about Shedeur, the Giants, but the Browns are holding on. The Browns, to me, are the ones holding on. And this is why I say that. For one, I've never heard anybody from the Browns organization, through any type of reporter, have stories out there that say, well, we don't know if we want to draft Shedeur because, Coach Prime, might be there. And But my point is, I've never heard the Browns say anything like they would be intimidated if Coach Prime, if Shedeur was drafted, because Coach Prime says that. I've never heard that. And to me, I know the Jets seem to still be there, but the Browns seem to be hanging in there, even with their meeting with Travis. And then they still want to meet with Shedeur. And we know they can't pick a quarterback given their current situation. Travis makes sense because Myles Garrett wants to leave. In my opinion, the Browns is a lot for Travis because they could use him and he could play on both sides of the ball. They do need, a future star in Travis. But the Shedeur thing is just really intriguing. I find it very intriguing to see what comes of that. I think it's intriguing to see what comes of that. I think Deshaun Watson for the Browns. Yeah, I do think he might be. I don't know how he feels. I mean, I don't know. But I don't appreciate whatever you say, Queen T, because that whole situation is a whole episode of a podcast by itself. Okay, here's the skinny on that. There was a podcast. I feel like it was Fox Sports. I think asking. So why isn't the Justin Tucker situation being covered the same way Deshaun Watson was? I was like, whoa, okay, somebody got some guts. I was like, somebody got some guts. So, I was like, there you go. But again, came and went, right? So I don't really know how he feels. He might feel railroaded. I don't know. And then, he might feel railroaded first. And then this whole Justin Tucker situation is swept under the rug for the most part, especially with the media coverage, for sure. Something came out about the NFL and what they thought about it. Nobody talked about it. I didn't even read it. I was like, whatever. Because you could tell they're not going to do nothing. So the fact that a podcast asked that question, I was like, whoa. Because, I did a video on it. It didn't get a whole lot of coverage. I didn't know what to expect. I just put it out there. But it didn't get a whole lot of movement. So I don't know how he feels, to be honest. He might feel railroaded. And when it first happened, because of how everything went, and I told y'all he wasn't the only one. And then here comes Justin Tucker. And then look at how that's going. And, he might feel railroaded again. So not saying whatever he had going on was right. That's not the conversation. The conversation is how it was covered, how they were treated differently. It's like one is protected and one was exploited. So that's what I think. All right. Okay. 400 Circle Media. Okay. I see you shout out Kiel. That's what I said. That's exciting. Jen, welcome in Coach Dre. Okay. Awesome. All right. Okay. All right. It said, Kiel said, yes, I think that it's pretty suspect because the Browns have Mr. Watson on the contract for about $240 million guaranteed. The team is going to take that contract on knowing he's still hurt. That whole situation is just interesting. And remember yesterday I had a notification while we were live that said somebody, I forgot who it was happy with the Browns draft strategy. I don't know what's going on. Then somebody said, a few analysts said the Browns gonna get scammed out of their pick. So I don't know. Coach Dre said, here's the thing. The teams have to ask for the players for them to get invited to the combine. And it needs to be more than 10 teams asking for those players. Oh, okay. It said, no, ma'am, he can't do that. He can say he wanted to sign with them and hold out, but he can't get back in the draft after a team picks him. Oh, okay. I see. That's good. So essentially, okay, all right. So once he's off the board. And then the Patriots would have to trade with the Jaguars. That's what it sounds like would have to occur. And it's possible that they've had some kind of conversation. But the Jaguars, Jacksonville been hanging in there tough for Travis. The same way the Browns been hanging in there tough overall, not just in the media, but I mean overall. they've been hanging from day one. Like, you know, we want to get this done, and I don't know how they're gonna do it. And for somebody to come out and say they're happy with the draft strategy, that's surprising to me because, you know, people saying they were gonna get scammed out their picks. So I don't know what's going on. So basically, he can't get drafted to New England and then get back in the board. Okay, excellent. What did it say? Got my Jets fam here. Yeah, you. I knew you was gonna be excited about that. I knew you were gonna be excited. Thank you, 400 Circle Media. I knew you was gonna be excited when I read that Kiel said his brother-in-law played for Jets. I was like 400 Circle Media because that's your team, and you let us know that that's your team. Awesome, I love it. Awesome. It said Patriots have his draft rights. So what they would have to do is trade him to Jacksonville, or he can sit out and not go to the Patriots. That's how that works. Okay. All right. But yeah, he can't get back in there. Okay. That makes sense. Okay. Crowley, welcome. It said, hello, you are wearing that jacket supporting your team. That's right. I hope y'all can see it. That's right. Go Buffs. Yep. As long as Coach Prime there, I have no problem with saying that out loud. Because I was a Jackson State fan, still is a Jackson State fan. But for sure. I have a sweater, hat, this, that, and the other. But I think by far this was my best purchase, the Buffs jacket. I wore it to the Alamo Bowl. Got a lot of compliments on it. And a lot of apologies, well wishes from the BYU fans apologizing after they beat us up pretty bad. So thank you for that, Crowley. Thank you. 22, I knew you were in there somewhere. I said it. I told y'all 22 be in there. I think quietly sitting back sometimes till the conversation get clicking. I said no, Travis couldn't do that. Once a team drafts you, it's over with. You can opt out or go back in the draft. The only thing Travis Hunter could do is sit out a year and he would be a free agent. Oh yeah. So all right. So to me it sounds like if the Patriots draft Travis, then they're gonna have to do a trade. But Travis didn't have a meeting with the Patriots. And I don't know if that says anything or not. Just like I don't know if it says anything that the Browns want to meet with Travis and Shedeur. And if it says anything that the Browns continuously want to connect themselves to Shedeur in any way, shape, or form. Now I do find it interesting, conversely, that the Titans did not meet with Travis or with Shedeur. See, that is interesting. And Abdul Carter sent a message just basically the same way Cam Ward did, to the Titans, basically saying, they be getting a good draft pick. But I'm starting to get the impression, do y'all really think Abdul Carter should be the first pick off the board to Tennessee? Even if it was the second pick. What Tennessee's needs is Abdul Carter's role sufficient enough for them to keep Will Levis, draft Abdul Carter, and keep on pushing and try to make a run for a Super Bowl. Do y'all get that impression? I don't get that impression. I don't think that's enough, but that could just be me. Let me know your thoughts. It says, I think Cleveland Browns just want to win because they've been at the bottom for so long and they thought that Deshaun Watson was that guy, but it's taken a while. Okay. All right. So I agree with that. I don't know if this is the year for Cleveland. I don't know what their needs are. I don't know with Myles Garrett wanting to leave, if getting a quarterback would matter. I just can't see how they would get a quarterback. To me, that's why Travis is the best solution. The best player to go to the Browns is Travis Hunter. The entire scenario, you can't get a quarterback because Deshaun Watson's his contract is too heavy, too top heavy. Myles Garrett want to leave. So instead of holding somebody who want to leave and it just turning into a James Harden with the Houston Rockets situation, not that he would, but he could. You get Travis and you kind of solve a couple of problems. That's what I'm thinking. I don't see how Abdul Carter fixed Tennessee's problems. I just don't. Oh, Coach Dre said no. Okay. Myles Garrett said he just won a Super Bowl ring. He did. He said he wants a chance to win and he doesn't think he's going to get it in Cleveland. Now, maybe they talked to him about their draft strategy and he'll chill out, but I think he kind of supposed to be gone. A couple of teams he could have gone to. One was the Detroit Lions, and then there was another team that surfaced for him. So I don't know. All right, let's see. But yeah, he did say he wanted to. He just wants to win, and I totally understand. All right, so now that we have key events and we kind of talked over some draft scenarios, and that's probably going to take place for a while because the draft is 60 days from now. So that's pretty much the case there. And then let's see what's next on this video. I think it might be back in Boulder. At the top of the video, some of y'all weren't here. I said that 14 people, hit the like button for me, please. Hit the like button. Thank you. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. And everybody, welcome Coach Dre. He decided to hang out with us. All right, so let's talk about something we already talked about that's gaining traction. Our man, Kaden Salton. All right, so I told y'all I named this podcast What She Said because I say things. That's why I started this podcast. I kept saying things off camera, and people like, you really know football. So here we are. I said right around the time we talked about the schedule, when the schedule was released, this is one of the slides from that video that I did about Kaden. So this is the meanwhile back in Boulder, right? So I said, I think Kaden might actually take us there. I think Coach Prime might have another Heisman on his hands. I said, because he's experienced. I told y'all the story about how I asked into my phone, who was Kaden Salton comparable to as a quarterback, and he came back and said Juju Lewis. And then I told y'all how Juju was participating in a camp, and Kaden Salter was the camp counselor. So these two been circling around each other for a couple of years. They know each other. Kaden is the counselor. Juju's a participant in the camp. Now they both are in Colorado. After Kaden goes to Liberty in his first year and takes them to a perfect season. Took them to a bowl game last year. One of the reasons he left is his dad said that the new system, the new coach system was changing. He felt like what Colorado had going on was a better fit. Kaden also comes from that Truth Academy or Coach Prime, the younger teams, when he had those young teams when BJ Green played way back in the day. So he's familiar with Coach Prime. So it just kind of made sense, right? Same thing for Juju. So I said back then, out of both of them, when it comes to the first game on the schedule, I believe that Kaden has the experience to win that Georgia Tech game. I said Juju's young, and he hasn't been at the helm of the Colorado Buffs or any college team yet. This was well before all the videos started popping out about them. I don't really see Juju on film a lot. He was when they went to the field trip at the school. He was there interacting with the kids, having a good time. I went to the high school game here. Remember, I put on my number 21 jersey, Colorado Buffs, and went to Juju's high school game against Grayson High School, and they won that game. I watched that game. It was not his best game. I do think he's a good quarterback. I watched some of his other film. But I think in the case of Kaden Salter being the starter or starting that Georgia Tech game, Kaden's already there. He's already him. Some people say he's a semi-pro because he's in his 5th year. And I'm like, I think that's the experience they truly wanted for Juju to have coming into this season. I think they know Juju's capable, but they also know he has to develop on the college level as well. And he's still pretty young. And when people say somebody's young, they're not just talking about physically. They're talking about emotionally, mentally, developmentally as well. So yeah, he's a good quarterback. I don't doubt that at all. But I think when it's go time, I think it's Kaden. And I didn't hold my tongue weeks ago when we dropped that schedule. And before that, when I started looking him up and talking about it, I said, I think this young man could bring a Heisman back to Colorado. Those were my exact words. So now, Kaden, the narrative is finally shifted away from Shedeur, and people are talking more about CU's next quarterbacks, and they're not just talking about who's gonna start. That's not the conversation. The conversation is, I think Caden could win a Heisman. Now, why do you think people are saying that all of a sudden? Maybe because they sat down and did the research as well. They realized that, look at our schedule. He has the experience. He's done it before. That's what I was saying back then. He's already done what we want him to do. He's already done. Took a team to a perfect season. If he did it once, he can do it again. So he has the ability and the experience to get it done. And I do think it might be that this young man could get a Heisman. So now everybody's starting to talk about it. Hey, Regina. Hey, how you doing? It says, yes, Mr. Carter should be the first pick, Tennessee, or Tennessee drop down. Give it to the Raiders. So you do think he should go? You think that will solve Tennessee's problems, Kia? Okay. I don't know. I don't see it. I don't understand if they were trying to figure out how to get rid of their quarterback, and then they decide they might keep their quarterback, or they might get a veteran quarterback, or they don't know what to do about the quarterback. How does a edge rusher help? I mean, I know on defense, but you still got to do something with your offense, and that was not their only need. Thank you for that, Kia. Coach Dre said he had a broken hand that game, but I do agree Juju is 17 and he will be 17 most of the season. He should still be in high school. Yeah, he finished high school really early. So, okay, he had a broken hand. So that might explain why that wasn't his best game. But like I said, I watched him play before. I watched him play against Buford. And if y'all don't know, in Buford High School this year, Juju was a quarterback for Carrollton. Remember when we played Nebraska, there was this quarterback who was fascinated with Pat Mahomes. Does anybody remember his name? Well, whatever his name is, Rayola, he has a younger brother. His younger brother is the QB, or was, that played against Juju. I think that was a playoff game. That was a good game. That was the game I watched. But I think that Caden, I'm telling you, I think he's that guy. Not just because he's confident, but you can see it. You know, sometimes people have it. Some people call it je ne sais quoi. They have that it factor. He has that it factor. And I know what it was. I think Colin had posted a highlight of him recently that made me go back to this. And he was trying to score. He was playing ball at a high level. You know how we say Travis plays backyard ball or street ball? Same thing. Just same thing, but as a quarterback. And that's why I'm like, this guy right here, I'm like, I think we can do this. And when you look at the rest of the team and how they're developing, Omarion, Timmons, and now you're starting to see, I'm starting to see more of the O-line. I need to get to know the D-line, but I'm trying to figure out who's on the O-line. Atkins, Coleman, these guys are hungry. It's like they came to Colorado because they know Colorado could win. And just like Jalen Hurts got a taste of victory with the Super Bowl, he already back in the lab because he want to go back. That's how these guys that see you are. They're like, I see that you can do this, so I want to be a part of it, and I want to win too. That's what it looks like at CU this year. These guys are hungry. It was a playoff game. Okay, all right. So yeah, Buford and Carrollton. It's online on YouTube. They put their games on YouTube if y'all want to go watch it. But that was a good game. I think they had a good running back too and a receiver. This, here, that, and the other. There was a couple of players that came out of that would stand out. But I did think it was interesting that Dylan Rayola's little brother was a quarterback for Buford playing against Juju. So I just think it was funny. I did like to see how much fun Juju had playing with the kids in Colorado. It just shows you, you know, he's just a good kid, but we don't get to see him as much. I don't know, it could be his schedule, but I do believe that the intent of having Caden was so that Juju could develop from, you know, Caden's presence. That's how I feel. Even though I know they're supposed to be competing, that's just what I think. That's just me. So let me know your thoughts about that. Some of you have. Thank you. Okay, so that's that with Caden. So we talked about this weeks ago, and now Caden is everybody else starting to figure it out. Caden is getting some love as he should. I think he's gonna be the front runner. I know when we played Georgia Tech, I'm pretty sure that's what I think. Now remember, we talked about key dates for NFL, but we didn't talk about April 19th. That's the key date for Colorado. That's the black and gold game. And I know when we look at Colorado content, we're seeing conditioning. So it should be time pretty soon to start seeing them, I guess, line up against each other. Does anybody know how many days from now? If the game is April 19th, is it March 19th, the day that they start like practicing for the spring game? Because right now we do see more conditioning. Let me know if you have any thoughts there. Travis Hunter said that Coach Eddie George reached out to his little brother, Tavis, as far as going to HBCU. Oh yeah, Tavis already got HBCU offers. Jackson State already offered Tavis too. I'm glad to hear that Eddie George did. Tavis is gonna be cold. I really do believe so. Tavis gives me what the Ball brothers did. Okay, so think about this. Remember when we met the Ball brothers? It was because Lonzo, all right? And then the dad, I hope he's doing well. He had surgery. He had his foot amputated, Mr. Ball. So I hope he's recovering well. But when we met the Ball family, it's because Lonzo was at, I think, UCLA. And, Mr. Ball, was pretty sure that all of his sons would play basketball. And I felt like he talked Lonzo up into the draft with the Lakers. That's how I felt. I think a lot of people felt that way. And it kind of didn't really work out like people thought it would. But see, the younger brother, now we know what happened with Jello, and now he's on the music path. And some people say Mr. Ball actually predicted that Lonzo and Melo will play ball and Jello will end up making music. I didn't hear that with my own 2 ears, but everybody was saying, you know what, he's 3 for 3. So maybe he did say it. But it's the younger brother, LaMelo, that came out, captured everybody without Mr. Ball talking him up. Instantly people thought he should have been Rookie of the Year, etc. And I don't know where he is in his career right now. But it's like he just took off like a rocket. That was the one, in my opinion, what he built Lonzo up to be in words is what Melo was, the younger one. And sometimes in family dynamics, the younger kid that has sat back and learned, like Shedeur Sanders, the youngest boy, is that one. Because they have the opportunity to learn what to do and what not to do. He had Bucky first that went to college. I saw Bucky's highlights. He's actually pretty fast too. From SMU, then, there's Shiloh. And then it's him. But it was always Coach Prime. And I heard Shedeur say recently he has his own motion now. And I agree with that. He stepped into his own shoes. When he was being mentored back in 22 by Tom Brady, he used to say he was going into Brady mode. And I remember, I think it was after his first year in Colorado, he switched from Brady mode somewhere along the line to legendary mode. So he became his own person. But the younger sibling sometimes is the one that takes off like the rocket because they've had time to sit back and learn and observe and develop. And that's what I think CU wants for Juju playing behind Caden. Now, I don't know how they're going to work that out. I know that they are competing, and it's true, nobody was promised anything. But y'all know how we, CU gets poached from a lot. So, I don't know, I don't know how it's going to go. We just going to have to see. I think it was actually Colin that asked one time, well, we're going to have 2 QBs. And I was like, I don't see that. I don't see that. So it say on the O-line we have, okay, good. We got some names. Jordan Seaton, Tyler Brown, C. Good, Houston, Cash Cleveland. What about the big guy? Yaya. Is it Yo-Yo or Yaya? Somebody let me know. Coach Dre, what about the big guy? Yaya. Thank you for the name. We played a game to test our acumen in terms of if we figured out who was who in terms of the receivers. It's actually a video out. You can check it out. But we had fun playing that game. We did pretty good. It said they start spring practice. They start March 11th. Okay, good. All right, we'll be looking for that. All right, y'all. So we need to put March 11th on our calendars since we know that's when they're gonna start practicing. And we have 15 practice with the spring game being the 15th practice. Oh, that's how it goes. So it turns out Alabama wants to take a cue from Colorado and turn their spring game into an event. And somebody was talking about it earlier, and I go through the comments. And the comments said, "Oh, CU is really a trendsetter." I just laughed. Because this was Alabama content. So Alabama wants to now. They said, "Well, we want to make it." It was just more like a practice, but now we want to make it more like an event. So Alabama wants to turn their spring game into an event the same way that Colorado does. So I thought that was interesting. It said Coach Sapp said on social media with Neely that they have 10 days before practice. Okay, thank you for that, 22. So we'll be seeing that. We'll definitely see that. I think I saw Bucky headed up to Indianapolis with Shedeur. So I think the person back filming is Darius from Reach the People Media. So I don't know how that's gonna work because what we used to Bucky filming everything. But in March, Shedeur will be getting ready for what? I don't know. There's a whole lot going on behind the scenes though that I probably don't know. So March 11th. Okay. Yo-Yo, that's his name. Okay, so Yo-Yo, that's the big guy. Okay, so he's an O-line guy, right? And pro day is April 4th. Okay, I wonder if I put March 4th to April 4th. No, I think it's April 4th. So that means from now, so I wonder how that's gonna work out with Colorado getting ready for spring ball, and then there's still a few people at Colorado getting ready for pro day. Like I know Justin Mayers, but maybe that takes place at different times. I don't know how that works. Oh, that was an announcement today. Now y'all have to tell me what y'all think about this. This was not part of my planned conversation, but it keeps popping up in my notifications. So we have a new coach, a D-line coach, the last name Pecco, right? He was in the NFL. So apparently, is it one or two of his sons is gonna play for Colorado now too? I heard that today. Does anybody have any insight on that? And what positions they play? I don't know if we're gonna hear more about this. Does anybody have any thoughts about it? I don't know. I wasn't familiar with the guy's experience in the NFL. But with him coming to Colorado, it's gonna be a lot of bright lights. And one of the conversations that came out of it is that it was announced that his sons will play for CU, and apparently he has two of them. So I don't know what positions they play. So if y'all have any insight, I'm looking forward to that. All right, so moving on. We talked about Caden getting the love he deserves because, he's a baller. That's why we got him, right? We have to wait to see what's going to happen with this competition. But for my money, I'm betting it on Caden, especially when it comes to starting Georgia Tech game. All right, lastly, I found footage of Lante Wester. So Lante was working out. The group he works out with, I think, is TSP. I don't know what that means. Could be top speed. That's what it sounds like. But I was looking for footage of Lante to see if he had made it to Indy, but I didn't find it. But this is what I did find. So y'all know he got hands, right? I say Lante is what? An end zone magnet. That, if there's an end zone, he gonna find it. And he talks about how the Baylor game was instrumental for him because apparently he must have had a missed pass or something before that, early on in the game. So when it came to the end of the Baylor game, go back and watch the last 2 minutes. Lante said he felt redeemed, and it's been on ever since. So I'm happy to hear that. It says Bucky has a guy filming for him at CU. So we get Well Off Media and Reach People Media. Okay, good. So we still get content. All right. Well, I know everybody is going to be all hands on deck. Waiting to see what happens March 11th. Waiting to see who takes snaps. How does that work? I think people, are starting to see Juju a little more, and they like actually seeing him as well. I haven't seen all of them together. So March 11th, I'm gonna have to put that on my calendar to see. Other than that, that's it. If y'all have any thoughts about Coach Pecco joining the staff, his sons joining the team, I don't know where they came from. If you know their history, we can talk about it in another podcast. So, and it does seem like we'll get our continuous footage from Colorado, because Coach Dre just told us that Bucky has somebody filming for him while he's with Shedeur. And that's excellent. Okay. He has two sons. One played D-line and the other, I don't know, but they both have offers from CU coming right after the dad got hired. Okay. All right. Well, we shall see. We shall see. Are we finished hiring coaches? Do we still need more coaches, or are we still recruiting? 22 said the spring game Colorado first team and second team will play against each other. Okay. Caden team versus Juju team. Oh, that's when they will decide who's QB1. Okay. So that's really going to be, all eyes will be on that game. Okay. Is anybody going to Colorado or thinking about it? Drop some info if y'all decide to go. It said, yes, Juju, he's in class. I had a feeling he was in class because we don't see him that much. And I don't know how they do their schedules and their practices and things like that, but I feel like that's where he had to be because you don't see him. So, and I know they don't all practice together. I noticed when they do their conditioning, it seems like they all there, but then they're broken up into groups, so you can't really tell. But I'll be looking for the spring game to see, what's really going on. But okay. All right. Well, I guess that's the end of the video. So I guess we can get ready to wrap up. This was awesome. Coach Dre, thank you for joining us. Hopefully you'll be back. And thank you for supporting the channel. 400 Circle Media, thank you for the financial support, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much. Kiel, Regina, thank y'all so much for being friends and family of What She Said. Remember, y'all, we do have memberships. Y'all can become a member when you see the join button. Just click join. And we also have a text group chat. So for members, we have a chat where we text by phone. So we talk before, afterwards, and in between any breaking news, we share, etc. So we just take it to another level. So if you see the join button, consider joining, especially if you're gonna hang out with us all of the time. That will be awesome. Other than that, I'm gonna get ready to say goodnight. I'll let y'all finish your conversations. I see 13 people in the chat. Please hit the like button so we can get 13 likes. The channel is growing. It is growing. It's slowly, but it's growing, and we have quality content, and we also have quality supporters. So that I'm happy about it, and I appreciate each and every last one of you. So thank you so much. With that, I guess I'm just gonna say goodnight. Thank you. Thank you, Regina. Thank you. We still have so many analyst jobs we have to fill. Oh, wow. The main jobs are filled. Oh, okay. All right. Okay, that's good to know. Well, we appreciate you, Coach Dre. Welcome. Welcome to What She Said. Bye, Queen T. See you later. We'll see you next time. I appreciate the insight today, too, Queen T. That was really good. I will be back anyway. Support anyone that supports CU and have been and is positive. So glad to see you. Yep. Thank you so much. Thank you. Good night, 22. See you next time. Let me type good night in the chat. Let this video play one more time.